Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I've been doing readings this morning. It's May 1st, and I said, let me pull out my cards, take a look at some of the things happening around the world. I've looked at the United States for May. I've looked at Russia and the Ukraine for the spring, and now we're going to take a look at China. China. And I'm using the Thoth Deck. And so this is where China's at right now. I did a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago. I should write these things down. I don't, and I don't know what day it is most of the time. But that's what happens when you spend your time looking at the stars. Sometimes you forget to notice what day it is here on planet Earth. But I did have a dream about China. Well, no, I had a dream about a plane that opened up its the bottom of the plane, whatever that's called. Pardon my unfamiliarity with warplanes. And they dropped a bomb, but it was a torpedo. And it fell from the sky into the water, and then it went and it drove. This torpedo actually went in an area where there was like a canal, and there were houses on both sides. It was it felt like Florida, like that kind of, like with the canals, but it was big. And it created, it didn't explode, but it created, was under the water, and it created this big wave. And this big wave came over the shoreline and started like hitting these buildings that were on the shore. And people were like, what's going on? They were like all disoriented, but I don't remember anybody dying from it in my dream, but I do remember that the waters got tumultuous. And in my head, or in my dream, it said that's China. China did that. So I don't know what that means, but that I had that dream maybe a year or two ago, but I can't be sure when that happens. Then I think about a year ago, and I could check the date on that because I did actually pull a chart for it. There was an incident where a plane from China, a Chinese plane, like their Airbus or their 747 or their whatever their new plane was that they were creating, fell from the sky, like it just went boom. And I felt like that was a real it was a real point where it sort of stopped China from rising up or from progressing. Like what we thought they could do suddenly went down. So there was a sense in that dream that they weren't quite as put together as they were letting on. So those are my two China dreams. And then, sorry, then I also had any number of dreams where I was among a large group of people that were getting transported in a very busy like harbor, but I was on like a Navy ship, and they were moving us onto Navy ships, and for some reason maybe moving us out of an area. So I had that dream as well. It kind of felt like New York, like New York Harbor, but it didn't have the buildings like New York. So it wasn't exactly New York, but it was busy like that with a lot of boats and a lot of, and the water was very very tumultuous again. So we have all this tumultuous water energy. So I don't know what any of that meant, but I don't think I've ever mentioned it in any of my reads. So I figured I'd just put it out there and you guys can just dissect it or see if it happens, or maybe you had a similar experience or dream. Should probably do like dream journals or something. You know, like, but just like figure out a way to like get together and talk about if we've had visions of stuff and see if anybody's had the same vision. China. Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So they are pretty well positioned financially at this time. They have accumulated a lot of wealth. They have a lot of wealth. Let's see what challenges that wealth. Fate. Change in fortune. Yeah. So even though they've been very diligent about their finances, it seems like fate is going to step in and change things for them. Let's see what's underneath it all. The Ace of Wands. It's interesting because this Ace of Wands came up for the United States reading and it came up for the Russian reading, I believe. And this is a new start or new creativity or new way forward. Now they just Jinping, not Jinping, I think it was what was it, Jinping that spoke to Zelensky, or if it was an ambassador from China about peace plan and stuff. As I said in one of the readings, and I can't remember which one it was, I think it was about Russia, is that war is good for a country like America and in England, really, because we sell a lot of arms. Now, it's very possible that China does that as well, and I just don't know about it. But we do have sort of an arms economy. And but when things are peaceful, I think China does better. So perhaps this is a way, because of the downturn in the finances, China is putting forth something that's creative. Let's see what else comes up. In the past, we have the Queen of Discs. This is very Chinese in its way. The Chinese people are very, very hard workers. The Chinese people that I know, very hard workers, very pragmatic. They're pragmatic people. They've been through a lot. They know what it's like to be without. And I think that they're careful. They're careful about how they expend their resources. Let's see what's in the sky. We have the Hermit. This was also in the reading for, I think there's the outcome for the Russian, for the reading I did on Russia. So they're being cautious. They're being cautious. Let's see the immediate future. Again, we have the Tower. So something is changing, something is shifting. I'm trying to remember, but I did do a reading, and I think I did it with Marianne on one of the readings we did together, and it was a number of years ago, where I think she asked me about China, and I felt that there was going to be some sort of disaster. There was going to be some sort of thing that just like came out of nowhere. Not that it was like, there's a dam in China that they were worried about it leaking or something. I feel it's like something like that, like a dam breaks and there's like 100,000 people in the way of it, you know, that kind of thing. That's what it feels like. It feels like we have to, like, now we have to pay attention to what really matters, and that's survival and not war, like that kind of idea. But yeah, China is, there is change coming and an awakening. How it's seen from the outside, loss, disappointment, suffering. Well, nobody wants to see anybody suffer. At least I don't. Domestic situation. Oh, okay, good. We have love here. Love, Two of Cups. Relationships, building peaceful relationships, perhaps. Hopes and fears. That they can trust people's good intentions. That's what that looks like to me. I don't know why I said that. And the outcome, the sun is shining. So that's good. That's good. It's good for China. But they are, there is big changes coming, big shifts. Let's see what's underneath it. Pleasure, strife, and success. And so it feels like everything's going great, and then the plane comes down, whoosh, strife, and then they build their success back up. So I feel like there's this thing going on in China. Wow, a lot of major arcana here. I'll have to look at China's chart. But you know, China's chart is simply China now. China is very ancient. And there's a lot of wisdom there. There's a lot of wisdom. And I think we all need to be a little bit more wise these days than anything else. All right, well, that's what I see for China. I see they're doing good, and then there's some disaster, and then they come back from it again. Not as powerful as the first time that they're not going to get to the point where they've gained back what they lost, but it's still, and I feel like that the last, that Six of Pentacles that came up in the read is really about like a more balanced way, right? Or fair, something more fair. All right, we'll see what happens. Let's watch this space, as they say. Or as, who says that? Oh, goodness gracious. I could tell you what her sign is. She's an Aries. Oh, I can tell you who she loves. I can tell you where she lives. Oh, just watch this space. Oh, I need some ginkgo, I think. Take care, everyone. Much love. Let's just pray for peace. Find peace within us, shine our light, and send light and love to all these places, to the places where people are suffering at the hands of our enemies, and send love and light to our enemies. We're all in this together, folks. And if you're not avoiding getting, hit by a bomb, then you have more responsibility for peace, don't you? Peace out, everyone. Much love. Take care.